Not anymore.
Didn't you find photographic evidence of Buggy from last night? Let me see that photo. If that's not Buggy, what is it?
I found designs for the costume in a trash can. Not only that, I collected all the pieces of the costume myself. Well, nearly all of them. There's still the one that...
But the footprints at the scene of the crime! How can you prove these don't belong to a real creature? What's this? I thought there were no records of a footprint anywhere.
No public records. The footprints at the crime scene don't match the ones on this page. They were just a product of these slippers. A part of the costume.
But Grimoire, this costume, it doesn't have claws of any kind. How do you explain the 3 wounds on the victim's chest?
I'm sorry for being really silent. It's just there's voice acting, so I don't need to say anything, but... yeah.
The prongs match up with the wounds perfectly. The handle's even covered in slime, see?
Ah, but this swamp slime was one of the reasons Buggy became a suspect in the first place. Surely this only incriminates the creature further.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? But that slime, it's not exactly what you think.
Okay, so main reason why his friend is a skeptic is because he didn't go exploring with us, so he doesn't know. And then we just go tell him everything, so... there's basically being in court and having the other guy yell at you for being wrong, and you tell them, no, what I'm saying is right because I have evidence and proof and stuff, and man, it's like Ace Attorney. I actually kind of missed that game.
This stuff is an uncanny resemblance to the so-called swamp slime. A bunch of it was stolen from the storeroom of the cafe, which reminds me.
What is that exactly?
A poisoned hot dog. It's the second reason that the murderer broke into the storeroom. He put this green powder on the entire supply, just to make sure.
To make sure of what?
God. Make sure he was ill.
To make sure Remington got ill and had to return to his office.
Remington went back to his office? Alone?
Final chapter. God, 6. God dang it, there's 6 chapters. Thought there's 5. Okay, fine.
I've been looking through your evidence, Grimoire. One piece in particular seems critical to me. I think we need to work out.
Video footage? Vincent Vanderpeer filmed it last night, at the exact moment of the murder, I believe.
Well, exactly. I think we can both agree these sounds in the background. They're essential in our mystery. Could you talk me through them? Just rearrange the descriptions on the left to match the sounds on the right.
Okay.
Drag them around and keep swapping until you're happy with the order. And if you want to hear the sounds again, you can tap on them.
No problem. I can always check my case file if I want to go over my notes.
Oh no. Okay. Okay, just let me finish this part. Okay, so that would be the stud. Yeah. Clang. Okay, and then... Okay, so... Crest inch of the shock. Okay.
I think that's it.
Oh. I didn't know what I just did.
Ah, excellent. There's just
Yes?
2 small details bothering me. First of all, if Remington ripped off a piece of his curtains, why wasn't it found at the crime scene? What happened to it?
Yeah? I see. What is this?
These are good.
Okay. These are interesting snacks.
Turns out the murderer took that piece of fabric and concealed it inside the head of the costume.
Fine.
Then he fled the crime scene to hide all the parts in different areas of the swamp.
Ah, well, that's my problem. If Remington fired his rifle, how did the assailant survive and manage to escape? Did Remington miss his target?
At point blank? A man of his experience? I don't think so. In fact, the answer to that question is the very last link in our chain. The one thing that has eluded me so far. I'll drag the clue items from the left onto my drawing here, and we'll see what happens when we compare the pieces I collected with the original design I found.
Hello, I am the murderer.
Wait! You never found the body piece! The torso!
You're right, and I never would have found it. Not lying around. Not like the others.
But what does this have to do with the murderer surviving the rifle shot?
This torso is probably made up of some thick material. Something covering the culprit's entire upper body. I believe it may have even been enough to
To soften the impact from a bullet! Aha!
Exactly.
Well, let's put your theory to the test. Where is that last piece of the costume?
He's still wearing it.
But how? We looked everywhere. Not a single clue.
Simple. He's still wearing it.
Under the poncho.
I don't know what you want with me. Sounds like you two were smart enough to uncover the real criminal in this swamp, and lucky enough to have somebody else deal with him for you. You worked it out. He had his rifle on him. He got half a glance at me and pulled the trigger without hesitation.
But why would he do that? You were dressed as Buggy. He shouldn't be pointing his gun at a unique scientific specimen, not to mention his main attraction.
You're right. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense, does it? Not unless you're in on the secret.
I'm gonna hang out in your room.
Okay.
Don't take it personally, but I'm just here for the food, okay?
The hunting photo leads me to believe Richard Remington was here to hunt Boggy.
You've been telling me it's the final chapter 3 times. It's now the 7th chapter. Oh yeah, since I'm recording this.
A secret society, an order of hunters,
guest star now.
seeking out
Yep, it's my
mysterious
sister
and
Claire.
elusive creatures.
The order
I'm only here
goes
for food.
further than this one man, and much further
Don't you
than
feel
this
loved?
one swamp.
The whole thing is kind of distressing. I knew something was wrong as soon as I stepped into that office.
I'm glad you've finally come around. It's not just
But
the...
what about Remington? He was a member of this order?
He made Boggy his own personal project, his own obsession. For years he hunted the creature, the potential perfect addition to his collection.
But he owned the tourist attraction. He set it up himself, didn't he?
He did. It was just his way of forming a legal loophole. Since the area became protected, he and his friends were unable to come here for hunting anymore. Boggy's Bog was just a front for his own little game. A man pursuing a creature.
A creature that might not even exist.
And that's why Remington kept a rifle nearby at all times?
Well, exactly. He didn't want to take any chances.
Now, don't you see? I did this place a service. Did Boggy a service. That creature, he can live in peace again.
Can he? You tried to frame him for murder. You wanted everyone to think he was some kind of ruthless predator?
Well, think about it. Once he became suspected of murder, they'd have no choice but to shut this whole place down. Everyone would finally realize they had no business here.
How can you know what Boggy wanted?
How can you know what Boggy wanted? He might not be what you're...
Detective,
You. It's...
it's finished. Well, don't be angry. You should be glad. It's finally time to leave the swamp. You have another job to do.
I don't know.
Not that it makes any difference to somebody like you, but I never intended to kill him. Just to scare him. Convince him Boggy wasn't going to let him live here in peace any longer. But, true to form, he had his rifle on him. You worked out the rest yourself.
Well, Mr. Everstone, I'm afraid you'll still have to come with us. Fortunately, there's a police station just a few miles down the...
Hey, wait!
Boggy.
Looks like you solved more than one mystery tonight.
And that is Detective Grimoire, Mysteries of the Swamp. And Boggy's awesome.
Grimoire.
Well, what did they decide to do?
We had Mr. Everstone questioned. He was happy to tell us everything he knew. A number of rumors going around the department have been confirmed.
And Remington's office?
Searched down to the last detail. And well, we agree with you, but I know what you're thinking. I'd love to put an end to it, just the same as you. But there's always...
Are we going after them?
We'd better be.
They need another game. Do I exit by pressing credits or? Okay, that was Detective Grimoire, Mysteries of the Swamp, and I can't leave it, so.